What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is David Hanlon, aka the Laptop Legend, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about more in depth how I'm able to profit consistently thousands of dollars a day when the overall market is crashing and every single stock it feels like is red. Now, if you follow other YouTubers and you've just been buying and holding their picks blindly, you're probably really red right now. You're probably really red. I was looking at some of the stocks that have been pumped a lot. Like NEO is down from 60 something to 30 in like a week or two. There's a lot of stocks that are really red right now. And the number one thing is capital conservation, guys, because there's a lot of people who were brand new traders who started trading because of GME, and they feel like they were on top of the world in February. You know, they felt like it was super easy. Trading is so easy. Why doesn't everyone do it? Well, it's not always that easy. February was, again, one of the most insane months we've ever had in the stock market, if not the most insane month, and March has slowed down a lot. And now it's just all about conservation, guys, and I'm being extra careful this month, and I just want to explain what I'm doing to still be profiting when every single stock it feels like is going down. Because today I locked in like 1,500 something, I forget the exact number. I'll show you guys in a second when I go to my computer, but if you can be making profits like this, getting more and more cash in your account to buy these stocks when the dips are finally over, you're going to be able to profit a lot more than if you're losing money on the way down and then just hoping for some type of bounce later, because it's a really ugly market out there and I feel like it could just be the beginning. So I'm going to talk about that today, talk about how I'm making this money even when the market is red, and hopefully this video will help you guys. If it does, please, I can't think of a new euphemism today, just turn that like button a different color. You know what to do. Subscribe if you haven't already, because I make these videos all the time, and I feel like I really help people. And yeah, let's dive into it. So apparently I lied. I accidentally thought I only made $1,500. I made $1,657. You can see all the stocks that I traded here today. Only one big loss, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, what went wrong there. But I just want to show you guys this chart for the S&P 500, and this is where we currently are today. You can see there was a big red candle, but it did bounce back nicely off of these lows. But I just want to give you guys some perspective, because I mean the markets were down 1-2% today, and people are thinking this is a correction. And I guess there's people who just got in the market, in this area for GameStop and all that stuff. The market can fall a lot more, guys, and I'm not here to be a doomsday sayer. I'm not here to say the world is ending. But if you look here in March of last year, obviously we had the coronavirus that made a little bit more of a an impetus to the downside. So I don't expect it to fall that far, but we had some days in here, multiple days that were, around 10%. We had a 12% day, minus 12%. We had a minus 8% day, 9% day, something like that. So, I mean, there were a lot of days where we lost way more than 2%. And I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't predict the future, but just know they can get a lot uglier, and it's better to be sitting in cash if things get really ugly, because that way, if you buy here, you can make a ton of money. But if you're holding through this drop, you're going to lose a ton of money, and then best case scenario, you're break even if it bounces back. So that's why I like being cash, and I just want to advise caution, guys. Just be cautious in this market. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for SPY. Again, I don't trade stocks like this. If we go through the stocks that I trade, today we had a really nice press release from ALYI here, and I took just 100,000 shares right here, and I ended up selling into the spike. That was nice, made $500. So if you're on top of the news, guys, you can really make some bank. And this one, a lot of people in the Discord banked on it with me, because we caught the news early. We all got in here right before this big spike, and then we sold into the spike. So it was really nice. So again, if you want to be alerted to this stuff, definitely check out the Discord link in the description below. The one that I missed today was MAXD, and this was another one very similar. You get a news release right here, and I mean, this one spiked up way better. This one spiked up, over 100%, over 100%. And I didn't see the news until here. I think I talked about it at 44, and I thought I was chasing at that point, so I didn't end up buying more than a few shares. And I mean, I still made a little bit of money on this thing, but you can see MAXD. I mean, I made 20 bucks on this because I was scared to chase. So, man, if you get the news early, it's still a good play in the market like this, especially when everything is so oversold. You just got to be careful and make sure you lock in your gains when you have them. HCMC, I talked about this one yesterday, but it's one of those classic dip buy patterns, and this stock does trade a little weird because the float is like over 100 billion. So there is like 500 million at least walls of buyers and sellers at each price point. But the good thing about this is it makes it really easy to determine when the stock is going to go up or go down. Because if you see 700 million buyers and the wall of sellers keeps shrinking on top and it's like 200 million, 100 million, 50 million, you know it's about to uptick. So I actually caught this bounce. I ended up chasing. I think I bought right, maybe it was right here, and I sold here or something like that. And, you know, I took 5 million shares, guys. If you take 5 million shares, 1/100th of a penny is $500. So that's pretty cool. I wish I'd nailed this one, but I missed this one, and then it just got choppy the rest of the day. So you gotta be careful when it gets choppy like this, but it's just pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be able to make that type of money on a stock like this. $500, literally just from catching a bounce like this. So pretty cool, guys. TSNPD. This one, oh, I put that in wrong. TSNPD. I don't know why they made that ticker such a mouthful, man. But you can see here, it's very choppy. I mean, it's a lot choppier than it used to be, guys. It's a lot choppier than it used to be. But we still had some nice bounces, you know? A mini bounce here, kept selling off, fake out bounce here. I forget exactly which one or which ones I bought, honestly. There were some that I didn't feel like chasing, but it did the same type of thing that I talked about in my video yesterday. And this is how you protect your gains, because it does a fake out bounce, fades off more, does a fake out bounce, fades off more, fake out bounce, fades off more, and then it finds the true bottom of the day. So the true bottom of the day isn't for like, you know, 3-4 bounces, guys. Typically speaking, that's what this market has been like. And, you know, there are a couple of these plays where I caught with only like 1,000, 2,000 shares and made $100 on, and then I gave back some profits trading stupidly. But, you know, overall, this is a good play, guys. If you get those dip buys, or, you know, it consolidates and you find some really nice intraday support, if you take a stab at it, you know, here at 301, you're risking off a 3. If it breaks 3, you get out. Versus your upside is like 315. I'd say that's a pretty good trade. If you have 10-to-1 risk reward, that's a really good trade. So it's worth taking a stab at, you know, and maybe not with huge size, but 1,000 shares, I think that's worth it. I think that's worth it. So those types of plays add up. ENZC, this is another one I traded today. Look at this beautiful dip buy, guys. Kept panicking, finally found a bottom. And again, the huge spike in volume is typically where the low of the day is. So, I mean, the most volume on the day is right here at this bottom. So it's a pretty safe bet that this is the actual low of the day. Now, we had a couple other plays today. ALYI, oh, I already talked about that midday. I talked about that midday, but let me actually pull it up a little bit here again. So I ended up buying some here because this support was holding all day long. So if you get support holding all day long and you buy at 502, 501, and there's a wall of buyers at 5, you're risking that wall of buyers. If that breaks, you get out. But since it's like the low of the chart, you have really good risk reward again, because you cut if it goes below that, but there's a lot of room to the upside. So you're risking a tiny amount to the bottom, and you have a ton of room where it can go up. So I love trades like that. Just wanted to emphasize that. We had a couple of charts that looked like that today. AITX actually looked very, very similar. Again, we got like finding that support at the bottom, and it just doesn't break through that. And if you get in near that support level, when it's choppy and, you know, you have a little bit of patience, typically speaking, you get a nice little pop-up. So I'm still trying to work on the patience, guys. I'm still trying to work on it. It's tough in a market like this where everything's bleeding to just not want to take your gains as soon as you have them. But, you know, it is what it is. And, yeah, I mean, trade scared, guys. Trade scared. What else? OZSC, guys, this one is still bleeding off. Down another 30% today. Went as low as mid-8s, and I think it went up towards the end of the day because of what the CEO was saying. Apparently, stuff is going well. He has the call supposedly with BlackRock investment tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of things coming up, and we are probably going to PR soon. I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm not going to buy before there's a PR unless he confirms that there's going to be a PR that day, because look what happens, guys. It's still holding a downtrend. I mean, I could have been buying here in the 18s waiting for the PR, and now I would be down 50% of my position. So as long as it keeps holding this downtrend, I'm going to keep waiting and not buy in. But let me just draw this so you guys can see. Let me get that perfect for you. I mean, it's honestly below the downtrend right now. I'd say it's below the downtrend. But once it breaks over this and is actually able to hold over that, I would say it's going to be pretty nice. It's going to be pretty nice. So, I mean, I can maybe put it right there so you guys can see. I mean, it's pretty well holding this downtrend the entire time. So once it pops over this, once it gets some news, I think it could be a nice reversal. And, oh, I guess there, okay. I was looking at the wrong times. All right, let me extend this right and extend this left just so you guys can see it a little bit better. So this is the downtrend that I'm seeing, guys. And I mean, it's honestly kind of in a down channel as well, if I had to say. But this is going to be a really great play. And now that it's this cheap, you can buy a lot of shares. So like I can buy 500,000 shares now if we get a press release. So it could be crazy. It could be crazy, guys. And it just depends on what the press release is. You know, if it's a deal with Tesla, oh my God, this stock is going to spike a ton. But we got a lot of red days, and the overall market's really red, and it could keep bleeding off. So I don't want to keep bleeding my profits. And you got to be careful, guys. You got to be careful. Ultimately, that's what it comes down to. We had some other crazy stocks today. Look at this chart, guys. I've seen a lot of crazy charts, but this is one of the craziest charts I have ever seen. Such a classic pump and dump chart. Look at this. It's like a stair-stepping pattern up, went crazy supernova, and then just had a massive sell-off. Absolutely massive sell-off. I was telling the guys in the Discord, I wish I could have shorted this, man. My shorting account is not ready, and it probably won't be ready till Monday, but I would have shorted the hell out of this because you can literally make 50, 60, 70% like that. This thing was up like 100% on the day. If I go to 10 days, I mean, it was at 14 and it went all the way up to 34, almost 34. Was it 14, 15, all the way up to 30. It was up over 100% on the day, and it closed down 44% on the day. I mean, from 34 to 8. That's down 75% from those highs. That's insane. If you get a short here, oh my gosh. That's beautiful. I will take those kind of gains in this market. I will take them. I mean, that just dumped. Anytime you get a chart, I wish I'd taken a screenshot when it was green, but anytime you get a chart that looks like this, imagine it being green candle all the way up here. It dumps, man. It dumps. I mean, this is literally straight up from 30 cents without a single red day until today, and it was super green. So, my goodness. I wish it had waited till Monday, but oh well. This is one of those perfect pumping up setups that you guys can profit on. It's nice, man. It's nice. NSAV, this one actually closed really strong today, so we might see a gap up on this one. Not sure. I'm not willing to overnight it. But looks like it broke down hard, but then, came back, had a really, really nice bounce. There might have been some news on this one. I'm honestly not sure. I'm not sure. But I'm just focused on the best patterns, guys. Focused on the best patterns. AABB had some panics. I mean, if the market keeps panicking, guys, we'll probably keep getting these panic dip buys, and everything will just keep getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And if we finally get some good news on some of these stocks, you're going to be able to buy a lot of them. And, a 1 cent spike, when you have 1 million shares, that's a lot of money, guys. That's a lot of money. What is that, 10 grand? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So keep that in mind. If you have 1 million shares, 1 cent spike is 10 grand, unless my math is off. ABB had a nice bounce, but some of these bounces are just choppier, guys. So you kind of got to wait for it to find a bottom. Same type of thing. Bounce, fake out bounce. Panic, bounce, fake out bounce. Fake out bounce, fake out bounce, fake out. Like the 5th time wasn't even actually the bottom. It didn't even find the actual bottom. And it broke down below, and here was the bottom. So it's tough to find the actual bottom. It's tough to catch the bottom, but if you buy near the bottom and then you just risk off the bottom, to me, that's a good trade. That's a good trade. Just focus on your risk reward. Also, some of the meme stocks, we're spiking up again today. I mean, GameStop, always doing something. Whenever it spikes up, I'm sure there's a lot of people who just short into it. What else? I mean, KOSS spiked up because GameStop spiked up. You can see here, I bought it a little bit. But I chased, and I just took tiny size chasing and then just took some gains. PVDG, it's actually had a really nice bounce. Doesn't look like it, but where was it? Here? Maybe it wasn't a really nice bounce. I guess I'm tripping. It was a decent bounce. GAXY, this one had a decent bounce. And again, all these fake out bounces, guys. So don't trust these bounces. Do not trust these bounces. Don't trust them. That's all I'm going to say. Do not trust these bounces. Be very skeptical and cut your losses when they go against you, because this thing could keep bleeding and keep bleeding and keep bleeding. All right, let me talk about ALPP, though, for you guys. Let me talk about ALPP because not ALPPP. ALPP. So this one, I bought. All right, so I was taking paper cuts along the way, right? So a paper cut is where the stock tanks. I buy it here thinking it's going to bounce, and then it goes below my entry, so I cut. And I take a small loss. Now it finds a new bottom. It's trying to bounce here. I take a new entry. It goes below my entry, breaks down below support, and I cut. But these are small losses because I cut instantly. In this case, it bounces hard. It tanks hard. And I try to buy at the bottom, don't get filled. Try to chase at the bottom. So I try to buy like 328, don't get filled. Try to buy at 330, don't get filled. And then I try to buy at 340, end up getting filled because I chased with big size, and then it comes back down to 325, and I have to cut because I have too big size. I think I had 5,000 shares or something chasing. Yeah, so I chased with 5,000 shares. And I ended up getting filled at 340, and then it fell back down. So here's the moral of the story, guys. If you do not get filled on your panic bounce, do not chase. It's as simple as that. And I was upset because, again, when you take paper cuts on the way down, you want to make all those paper cuts back by nailing the actual bounce, by finding the actual bottom. So when you take those paper cuts and then you don't get filled at the bottom and you miss out on the profits that would make back all your losses, it's really, really frustrating. And I gave into that emotional response of like, all right, you know what? Screw it. I deserve getting filled on this bounce because I've been cutting my losses and doing it right. You don't deserve anything. This market owes you nothing, guys. It owes you nothing. And it's a rookie mistake on my part. I chased with size on a bounce where I didn't get a good fill. And because of that, I ended up having to cut. And losing $500 because of an emotional trade. That's $500. That's a lot of money, guys. When you give into emotions, you can lose all your profits on the day like that. So that's a lack of discipline on my part, and I need to be better about that. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have done this as well, which is why I'm giving you this example. If you miss your execution on the bounce, do not chase. Or if you feel like you have to chase, don't take bigger size. You can't chase with the same size that you would take on a good entry. Chase with 1/5 size. Chase with 1/10 size. If I chased with 1/5 size, this would have been a $100 loss. And I would have been over 2,000 profits on the day. So just keep that in mind, guys. I'm very frustrated myself for that. And I just wanted to give you this lesson because especially in a market like this, where everything is going down, every stock is bleeding. My entire watch list, except for like 2 stocks that got news in the middle of the day, was red. Every single stock was red in the OTC lane, like 30%, 10, 20, 30%, 50%. It's insane. It's a bloodbath out there. And the only way to stay profitable is if you stay disciplined and stick to your rules and cut your losses and don't chase. That's what's going to set us apart from everyone else who's losing a ton of money right now. And if we can keep gaining money in this type of market, when we get another bull market, we're going to be able to profit so much more because we're going to have all that extra capital. So that's what I want to tell you guys. That's pretty much it, honestly. And this type of market is what separates the winners from the losers, the novices from the professionals. If you're not able to make it in this type of market, you're never going to be able to be a good trader. It's easy to profit in a market like February. It's easy, bro. Everything was going up. You just buy. You don't have to manage your risk. It just keeps going up. Markets like this are where everyone who's a noob, everyone who's not disciplined gives back all those gains and more. So don't be one of those people. If you're a viewer of mine, I care about you. I care about your success, and I want you to succeed. So I need you to cut those losses quickly and stay disciplined. Learn from my mistakes. Learn from my mistake on this. Learn from my $500 mistake here. Learn from my almost $17,000 mistake on CCIV. Learn from my mistakes so you don't have to feel my pain. And that's it, guys. That's it. Shout out to my friend Ariel from Singapore. I got you. And that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, let's grow better together.